Hello and welcome back to Your Health Kenya with me, Trisha, a space where we get to unpack everything matters health. And we continue with our reproductive health series where we've been unpacking different conditions that many women face and just being able to gain knowledge and create awareness about some of the symptoms, as well as just getting to hear stories from some of the women who've gone through some of these conditions. So I really do hope that you've been enjoying this series and this particular conversation, and that you've been able to share with your friends, your communities around you, even as we continue creating health awareness on matters reproductive health. On today's conversation, we continue with a segment on the topic of fibroids and just getting to demystify myths versus truths in regards to fibroids. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Dr. Wasuna. I feel like he's become a resident gynecologist in this conversation, but he'll be helping us unpack and just being able to understand what are some of the myths versus what are some of the truths in regards to fibroids. All right, karibu sana daktari.
Myth versus truth.
Yes.
Shoot, it feels like an exam. True or false? True or false?
It is not. It's not an exam, but well, let us see. All those years of practicing and consultant. Let's test your.
When they say
accolades.
This concerns marriage, men. If something we've said can be interpreted in two ways,
yes,
and one of those ways is bad or wrong, we meant the other one.
Wow.
We shall see.
I see you right there.
Right there. All right.
Yes.
Shoot.
All right. So I think I can just go through some of the questions, and then now you can be able to tell us whether these are myths or whether these are
I shall
truths.
embellish them. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. So the first one is that fibroids, and particularly even just going through fibroid surgery, it leads to infertility or it affects fertility.
Okay. Fibroid surgery, the surgery itself.
Yes.
So yes and no. Very safe answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we go in to remove fibroids, let's say there's a way in which we cut and then the fibroid cups out and we scoop it out in a certain way and we stitch.
Mm-hmm.
But if the fibroid was such that it was close to where the woman's fallopian tubes are,
mm-hmm.
and in the process of surgery, we can't evade damaging that portion,
mm-hmm.
it might affect her fertility.
Okay.
But by and large,
mm-hmm.
the large majority of fibroids,
mm-hmm.
if they're nowhere near the tubes,
mm-hmm. and
there's a way which we stitch properly, then it should not affect. We have women who have had 100 fibroids removed, and I'm talking about a specific example. The gentleman doctor who taught me, whom I tutelaged, removed over 100, about 114 fibroids from a lady. He's very, very patient, very detailed, and very meticulous. Taught me that, and she conceived, has a baby today.
Wow,
that's a medical miracle.
Yeah.
So you can operate. So there's operating technique, but also where the fibroids are.
Okay. All right. And do the fibroids themselves cause fertility or infertility?
If they're blocking the tubes, yes, they will cause fertility issues. Okay. Just by the mere fact that they are present. But other than infertility, meaning you can't conceive, once there's a baby, the presence of fibroids can affect the implantation, the lining, and so miscarriages can happen, but also can cause early labor, which is premature deliveries, but also can affect the mode of delivery because the baby will sit in a certain way and will stop a woman from having a normal birth where the baby comes head first.
Yeah.
So might end up going for an operation.
Okay. All right. The second one is fibroids. It affects your uterus carrying a child.
We alluded to that. So a lot of women, 40% of African women have fibroids. A lot of Africans are delivering children, thank God. So a lot of women have fibroids and will undergo normal pregnancies and deliver. But they just increase the risk of certain things happening. To recap, as I mentioned, non-natural delivery. So it'll be an operative delivery, a cesarean section, or pain during pregnancy because the fibroid has a death experience, or the baby sits wrong, we call it malpositioning, okay, or malpresentation. The baby is sitting wrongly, okay, or you can have early miscarriages also, fibroids there. So can affect.
Okay. Linked to that same question, there's also this myth versus truth. you can't deliver naturally after fibroid surgery.
Myth.
It's a myth.
Some will. Some will not. But it's not that you have fibroids, therefore you can't. We assess. You'll find fibroids are not quite close to the exit door, which is the cervix or the womb. The baby's head is there. The mother will deliver. But we have to watch out for heavy bleeding post-delivery, what we call postpartum hemorrhaging, which is the number one killer of mothers in sub-Saharan Africa undergoing childbirth. That and infection. But number one is bleeding. So we really have to watch for it. There are things we do, medicines we give very quickly to prevent hemorrhaging post-delivery.
Okay. And after the fibroid surgery, is it still possible to deliver naturally?
Generally, we say no. We used to say if the fibroid surgery is such that you don't go and enter the womb completely it's just in the muscle and you don't go in. But there's still a risk because once we have cut and stitched that uterus, when it's contracting strongly, there's a risk of it beginning to unwind, to tear along the zones of weakness. Those cuts become zones of weakness. So a lot of practitioners will just, for safety's sake, will say, let's just do a cesarean section planned before labor to mitigate all risks.
Okay. I think there's also usually that conversation about maybe after a couple of years, then you can be able to try conceive.
Yeah. So there are centers where, especially just after, the protocols are very strict. If you've had one previous cesarean, but that's a cesarean section. But once you've had fibroid surgery, generally we're not very good. We're not very happy with you delivering normally. This would pertain to once you've had one cesarean section, then they try a vaginal birth after cesarean. But even there are risks. Of course, you could succeed, but there are risks, and it's a dicey one where everybody's on edge. Yes, and women have the choice to say, no, I don't want the risks, but we can try. A lot of things have to be in place, including a theatre right close by, ready, because when an emergency happens with a woman who had prior vaginal surgery on that uterus and it's tearing, you want to get that baby out faster than immediately. So you can see the challenges that we have. Hence, a lot of practitioners will just say, let's just go in for a planned one. Let's not try this. It's like Russian roulette.
Okay. Another myth versus truth that you can help us decipher is recovery will take a lifetime after surgery. So
it's mostly pain and immobilization, which gets people down. We have modern pain modalities. There are modern painkillers, modern blocks that we do. A block means it's medicine given to stop nerves from transmitting pain. And so while you're not exactly like you want operated on, you're comfortable. It's I can call it comfortable discomfort. So no, it shouldn't take long, but it's so dependent on the individual and the drugs given and the doctor's expertise on what was given to you and how it was given. But good pain management should mean that even after major surgery, you can be comfortable. I know a patient of mine who was getting married and had to go for her premarital classes. I discharged her on a Thursday, and on Sunday she was at church. Like nothing ever happened.
After a major surgery? Or?
Yes. Fibroid removal.
Wow.
Major surgery. Okay. She was happy enough to go for the premarital classes.
Interesting.
She's happily married.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's a tough cookie.
Yeah.
And she's a doctor.
Wow.
We're tough.
Yeah, clearly. All right. The other one is your stomach will never be flat again.
That's something different. It's those chapatis and everything. It's not the fibroid.
Okay.
No. So we when we do the operation on the womb, if it was big, it'll get back to a smaller size. The flatness has to do with the abdominal muscle, its flabbiness or not, its tone, and how much fat is there. So those are other factors. But come to think of it, once we've operated, there's a certain time frame with which we don't want you to do abdominal exercises. People can go back after 5-6 months. You can go back, and then you can work your abdomen again. You've given it time to heal. So that will depend on how much fat there is and what the tone of the muscles is. We bring the muscles back together properly. There are a lot of women who have had cesarean sections, multiples, and because they do the right thing, you wouldn't tell that they've had children. Okay,
so there's hope. You can still get your
there's Nyambura and there's hope
back. Okay, all right. Okay, the next thing is fibroids will grow back again after surgery.
Not the same ones. It's just that there were others that were missed, and they can be as small as a sim seed. So when we are doing fibroid surgery and we're doing it what is called open, where I'm touching the womb with my fingers, because I've got tactile precision, I can feel the tiniest of the tiny. There's a lot of brain real estate reserved for receiving sensations from the fingers. Okay, I remember as a young child I had this book at home which showed the real estate of the brain that serves different parts of the body, and I was shocked to find that the real estate, the brain power that is reserved for a man's male part, the penis, is so tiny compared to the hands. Like, I should be using my hands more. That's really funny. The point being that when we're using our hands, we can feel much more, and we can feel them. So other forms of surgery would be laparoscopic surgery. So when you go out, you're removing the big ones. But you have to have done a workup really well to know that there are no small ones. So proper scans, maybe MRIs, but they can miss them, where my fingers will feel them. So what happens when a woman says, I had surgery and they regrew? They didn't regrow. These are new ones. When you remove a fibroid, you remove it, it's like removing a tree with its roots.
Okay.
Nothing's going to grow again.
Okay.
So others have grown.
Okay.
That were there, maybe they were just too tiny to be seen.
Okay. And what are the rates of growth, of new growths after fibroid surgery?
It is variable.
Okay.
It's very variable. But I'd probably say, in my practice, I would say I've seen maybe 1 in 20.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
But it's variable.
Yeah.
And it's variable because it just depends on how much was removed, and that's a whole spectrum.
On the number and all those details.
Whether you got all of them out.
Whether you got all of them.
And then again, it also depends. If they were really small, they might regrow, but they are small. They are small. Not enough to warrant another surgery.
Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Final one. You can't have sex immediately after fibroid surgery.
After any uterine surgery, from delivery, cesarean, fibroid, a month to 6 weeks. Give the girl a break. A month to 6 weeks, and after that, it's okay. And having said that, the satisfaction after intimacy should not be less. People think maybe my intimacy levels, satisfaction levels will be less. Not necessarily so. No.
Okay, let me throw in another one. Women get to experience painful sex when they have fibroids.
Yes,
is that a myth or truth?
It can be, okay, because there's pressure, the womb is big. Upon climax, where the uterus does contract, the fibroids there might be a bit of pain. And so the pain also might be related to pressure on other organs there. So there's a lot of relief that happens once fibroids are removed.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Ari. Yeah, we've gotten to just unpack this conversation on myths versus truth when it comes to fibroids, and particularly fibroid surgery. And I do hope now you know what are the truths and what are the myths that you've heard out there. If there are others that maybe we may not have touched on, would you go ahead and let us know in the chat, in the comment section? Let us know what are some of the truths, perhaps some of the myths that you've had in regards to fibroids or fibroid surgery. But that's it for today's conversation. Remember to share this episode with someone and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Until next time, it is a goodbye.